Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is, I can't remember. Okay, let's start again. Hi everyone and welcome back. Today is Monday. I'm going to do a stitch with me on this chart called Moon Witch. Almost forgot the name then. It's an Artecy chart and I'm working on 20 count fabric 1/1 full cross. So I did a stitch with me about a week ago and I decided that I was going to do a few of them, a couple of them in October. So here I am. And if you watch the last one, you'll see that I've got a little bit more done on this. So far I am at 1.84%. I have done 1,126 stitches out of 61,200 in total. And I love this chart. I think it's really cool. And it's a perfect time of year to be stitching on it. So yeah, I'm going to get started. So as you can see, I've been doing quite a little bit of cross country here and there. And I've finally been able to come over to the little bit of the moon, but I'm kind of cautious about going too way ahead because I always find that that's just a little bit scary in general for me because I'm not a seasoned cross-country stitcher. It's not something I do all the time. And often when I do it on 25 count, I find it a little bit difficult to see the holes. So I'm a bit of a cautious cross-country stitcher. And I much prefer actually the 20 count with cross-country because I can actually see the little gaps. Whereas with the 25 count, sometimes in a heavily dense confetti area, can actually be quite hard to see the little gaps that you leave. So I think the answer to that is try not to leave too many gaps, which I guess is doable. Just move this needle minder up out here somewhere. Okay. So the funny thing is that I have been doing diagonals on most of my projects recently, and then I've just kind of killed them. I've just kind of hung them upside down and decided no more diagonals. And I've gone a little bit wild across out of the diagonal. I don't know what made me do that. It's just one of those whim things that you sit down and think, oh, I'm tired of doing this straight line. I just have to get out of here and, go somewhere else. I don't know if everybody does that, but I certainly do. But that's fine because at some point I might be enticed to go back and try and make that diagonal look all pretty and diagonally again. But for the time being, I think I'm doing okay with my little, tentative cross country, what they call limited cross country. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? Whether you do this, that, or the other, or you switch them around all the time, I don't think it matters, honestly. At the end of the day, as they say, all roads lead to Rome. So you're going to end up where you want to be, hopefully, at the end. As long as you don't go wrong, you can, I don't know, stitch standing on your head, juggling ping pong balls, I don't know. You can stitch however you want, because at the end of the day, all you need to do is fill in those gaps. So whichever way you do it, doesn't matter. Now I have to keep counting here because I've already gone on ahead somewhere, have I? No. So I've got to talk and keep count, otherwise I'm going to have to do some frogging, and I don't want to do frogging. I really don't. Okay, let's get this straight. So that's what's going on with the stitching. It's all going a little bit interesting is the word. Interesting is that the Chinese saying when someone says, may your life be interesting, it's actually supposed to be a curse. That's what I was told. Somebody told me that. I don't know if it's true. An interesting life is one that's had many ups and downs. So if you really dislike someone, you can say, may your cross stitch always be interesting. I wouldn't actually say that to anyone for real. I think cross stitching in general is interesting, isn't it? It's just one of those hobbies that's got lots of variations and styles, and I guess all hobbies, when you extend them into something more creative and you get even more arty with them, they tend to be, you know, using that word again, interesting. Right. This needle is also interesting because it's not wanting to behave. Okay, so thank you for joining me, by the way, and thank you for all your lovely comments on my last video. They were very heartwarming to read. I hadn't posted Stitch With Me's for a good time, for a good while, and I thought, well, are people going to have forgotten me? I doubt it. I hope not, anyway. You know, the regular ones that come along and like to do a bit of stitching with me. But the nice thing about flosstube is that if you need to take a little break, people are very forgiving about it, and you can take that little break, because everybody needs a break about, with regards to everything at some point. And I certainly need breaks every so often. And to have that little break when you do come back and do things like Stitch With Me, it just makes it, it gives it that, I'm not going to use the word interesting again. I'm overusing that word now. It just, you get tired of certain things after a while, and you just need a refresher. When you come back, you find you enjoy things a bit more after you stop doing them for a little while. Just counting up here, trying to count, make sure I'm not. That's the thing with the cross country, is that you're no longer just following row by row. You're actually here, there, and everywhere. So please bear with me, and I shall do my best. So what has it been like for me this week? Well, it's been a busy week in general. I normally tend to have quite busy weeks with all sorts of variety of things. Did I just do that stitch? Yeah, let me just punch my needle through somewhere so I know where I actually am. And then it's been an interesting week. I keep using that word now. It's starting to annoy me. So, so the news I have this week basically is that I've reopened my Etsy sales to customers in the US, and I had suspended it for a while because when Trump had announced these tariffs, everybody was going crazy. Nobody knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on, and Etsy decided that they weren't going to sell labels any longer, and that if you wanted to sell to the US, you had to go through your own postal service or some other postal service. And I was actually saying in my last video, I think, that sending things by courier would not be worth the hassle, because I'm selling needle minders, and why would you want to put a needle minder into a courier? Because it just seems a bit silly to me. I don't know, maybe some people are doing it, I don't know, but I think I've lost my place. No, I'm here. So I left it for a while, and then I did a little bit of research. God, I am lost now. Why am I lost? Okay, I think I found my place. So I did a little bit of research and asked a few people, what they're doing and this, that, and the other. And then I got some information from the local post office, and they said, absolutely fine, no problem with selling to the US or posting anything to the US. We do a service now which includes all the calculations, and Let me just try and move this for a second. And it's called DDP, Duties Delivery Prepaid. So when you check out, when you buy something on my shop and you check out, everything's been prepaid and it's included in that shipping cost. When you go to the end of when you get to your basket and you go to the checkout, it's all included in there. And I said, great. They said, you just go into the Royal Mail website and you buy your labels from there, print them. However, you do need to put in the recipient's email address and email address and a contact number. And I think prior to that, with Tracked, I think we had to put in an email address, but not a contact number. Now they're asking for an email address and contact number. I don't know why, but that's what the form is online on the Royal Mail if you want to send something. And it's not just the US, it's everywhere that you require to put in a recipient name and address. So I thought, well, that's fair enough. At least, you can continue the sales or whatever, if that's all you need to do. So we're giving it a bash, and I resumed sales yesterday. So there will be some new needle minders up over the next couple of days. Let me just count again. And hopefully that's all sorted out, because I don't like when I don't understand what's going on or I don't know what's going on. I like things explained to me. Otherwise, I'm not doing them. So I've put it all in the listing description. So if you buy something, please just send me a message with your information so that when I go to do the label, I can input it into the label. And it's totally legit, because I'm not going to be putting in fake numbers and fake email addresses as someone had suggested to me. And I said, no, not doing it. It's a legitimate website. It's the Royal Mail UK. And if that's what they need for me to be able to send, that's what I require. And I'm not doing fake numbers. I'm not doing anything like that. I want to make sure it's all done properly. And if I don't do it properly, I'm not doing it. So yeah, that's basically it. So that's really all it is. I'm going to move to the left a bit because I'm feeling like maybe I shouldn't have started with the lighter colours when I thought about doing this video. I should have gone to do some darker colours. These lighter colours really do mess with your eyes, don't they? So how is everybody, and what is everybody up to? I know last week you were telling me all the things you were stitching on, and I love hearing about them. And some people even turned up in my Discord and showed me what they were stitching on, which is really cool. And have you noticed how many cool charts there are coming out at the moment? There's so many cool charts. It's just, oh my goodness, we have to be so resilient to not want to go and grab all these things, because where is the time to be doing them all? Because time goes so fast, and between your normal things that you do day to day, it is really, I mean, it's tempting to go and start new things, but then you end up not being able to stitch on everything because there's just not enough time. So this month I've been working on, I'll be honest, I haven't been working on all of my whips because I just can't focus on everything. I just get overwhelmed. So I've put away, I think I said this last month or even the one before, I've put away a lot of whips and decided that I'm just going to work on the ones, just a select few and see how we go. Because I lost my Stitchy bug a couple of times and I really don't want to do that. If I lose my Stitchy bug, I'm not going to do any stitching. And that's worse than actually not doing anything at all and disliking it and not wanting to do it. It's actually worse than UFOing everything. So might as well put some things away and, get a bit realistic about how you feel at that point in time. And then I went and picked out a few things. So I started this one, and I started the Vatican sunset because I need something fresh and new because I just get bored otherwise. I'm so tired of doing the same one for years and years. As much as I love it, and as much as I like Riverwalk Charm, I do get so burnt out on it every so often. So I still keep working on it, even so. I bring it out every so often. I did that last month. I don't think I brought it out yet this month. So I've been working on Fairy Whispers by Lisa Parker, and I've been working on The Vatican Sunset by Thomas Kincaid, and I've been working on this one. I think it's the only three. Oh, I did bring out my other London piece by Thea Governor. I did bring that one out for a little. I think it was midweek or something. I started working on that one. I feel like I've lost track again where I am. Now this doesn't look like anything I've already done. I don't think I've done these stitches here. I think I'm just marking off stitches that I haven't actually stitched. Isn't that fantastic? No, it's not. Come on, do it properly. So I've marked off all these and I haven't even stitched them. I've done those. I've done that one. Good grief. So that and that. Right. Okay, I know where I am now. Honestly, it's like going into a maze and not being able to find your way out again, isn't it? Oh, so yeah, so I've forgotten to say, if you're from the US and you want to buy something in my Needleminder shop, please just send me a message and then I can, put it onto the shipping label, not the label, to the actual, when I go and process the shipping and print the label so that I can send, and then it will show that all the duties have been paid. That's what I wanted to say, because otherwise I won't be able to process the shipping form, which means I won't be able to send it to you, and then I'll just have to give you a refund, because when you get to these forms and they say, how you get you start typing in an address or something, it says required, it's got the little asterisk that says you need to put in the town, you need to put in the postcode, you need to put in this. Well, it says you need to put in the recipient's email address with the little asterisk, and you need to put in a contact number with an asterisk, and you need to put, they required this information now. So I even have to put in my details as well. But that's fine, as long as it gets there and there's no problems. So I'm trying to work it so that it all goes smoothly and that there's no problems for me. I don't know how other people are doing things. They might be doing them differently. Some people might be doing different couriers and things like that. I'm just trying to do what I think is the best at the moment. So that's it. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling a little bit, but it has been worrying me a little. So I'm thinking, now I'm getting it off my chest. Let's just move on. Oh. Right. I think this moon is going to look gorgeous once it's done. It's actually not a bad fabric at all. It's a little bit on the crunchy side, what we call crunchy, but oh, my pattern keeper's being silly. The other thing I find a bit scary about cross country is that it's got to be insanely difficult to mark off your stitches if your pattern keeper goes bust or something, or your tablet dies, and basically just back everything up very frequently, back up your progress, because I would never want to be crossing all these off the actual pattern. That would drive me crazy. It's never actually happened to me that I've lost my stuff, but I've had some scary moments. My last tablet died last year, but I had everything backed up. And because I was working in like rows and everything, if there was a couple of days or a week that I hadn't, it was no big problem to add in the extra few, blocks that I did or whatever. But it was nothing as bad as if I'd done extreme cross country or anything like that. That's why doing like extreme cross country scares the life out of me, having it on a digital device. I could not back it up enough. I'd probably be backing up every 2 hours. I think I might be coming to the end of this colour soon. Have I done that one? Okay. Not got a lot of thread left here. And this one. So there are a couple of other people who are doing this. I came across, well, actually, she commented on my last video, this lovely lady from Portugal. And if you're watching, hello, Sophia Stitching Love. She's a really lovely lady, and she's got a channel and the most amazing projects. I'm going to link her below actually, so you can check her out. And she's been doing this one. I didn't even realize, and or it's in her project list, and she's done quite a bit of the moon. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but she also does some really beautiful ones and very, very large ones, which are a little bit scary for me, but she seems to be completely undaunted, like, it's all fine. It's just fine. And I just love that attitude. And yeah, so give her a bit of love on her channel, because she's got some great projects, full coverage. I'm happy to say there's not much else to say, because I always think to myself, if there's lots to say, sometimes you never know if it's going to be very good. So when there's not much to say, it's usually a good thing. It means that nothing bad has happened. So there is actual value in there not being much news sometimes. It is getting colder, and the heating has come on just for maybe half an hour a day, just for a little boost of warmth, because it gets really, really cold. Like, we've got really thick stone walls. They're like prehistoric size walls, and yeah, like a castle, freezing. It's a bit like living in a castle. And we don't get mice, despite the building being ancient. Well, not ancient, but the building is about, hang on, let me just see did I do those ones? No. The building I live in was built around, I think it was 1890 something, 1896, something like that, or 1900, the latest, something like that is said on the deeds. And so a lot of the design is Victorian. So very, very thick stone walls. Like literally the whole building's made of stone. So yeah, no such thing as insulation really, but definitely heaps of character. Very, very high ceilings, which I love. Love the high ceilings. They're not exactly practical. In fact, they're terrible, because you can't get up there, and I can't get onto a ladder. So if we have to change light bulbs, my husband has to get the big long ladder and climb to the top just to change the light bulbs, because we can't do it otherwise. And then he still can't reach the ceiling. So when he gets to the top of the ladder and stretches up, he still can't touch the ceiling. That's how high it is. It's a bit crazy. And we've only had, and because it's Halloween, I'm going to give you a spooky incident, or maybe a couple of spooky incidents, just for a laugh. Maybe I'll find something spooky to talk about in my next one as well, because I love spooky things. Okay, so I don't know if I've said this before, but when we moved in and we did the whole inventory or whatever it is, when you go around checking what's everywhere, and you kind of remember whether there was a table here or a cupboard over there. You kind of like mentally remember these things. And when we moved in, I remember thinking, oh, we don't need to get any light bulbs because there are light bulbs in every room. That's fine, in the like ceiling lights. So we didn't purchase any. But then, like a little while after, I said to my husband, I was in the bedroom, I said to my husband, why did you remove one of the light bulbs from the bedroom ceiling light and not replace it? Because I thought that was a bit strange. Because if you remove one, because there's like, it was like a chandelier type, very small and intricate, but a chandelier type gold ceiling light in the bedroom. And it's got three things for the bulbs. I don't know what you call them. 3 holders or something for the bulbs, for the light bulbs. And I said, why would you take one out and not replace it? Or are you intending to replace it or something? And he said, I've never taken one out. And I said, what? What do you mean? There's only 2 of them there. And there's usually 3 light bulbs. He said, I've never taken one out. Now, it's not as if one of them had fallen out or anything and crashed to the ground. If it had fallen anyway, it would have landed on the bed because the bed is directly beneath the light. But I can tell you that there was 3 of them up there because it's not something I would... For some reason, it's something I remembered. Don't remember everything, but I do know that there was 3. And I said to him, why did you take it down? And he said, I didn't. And we didn't have, like, we've never had workmen in or anyone in, to do things. So it's completely a mystery how that light bulb has disappeared into thin air. So it doesn't bother me. I just find it a bit strange. But something else similar to that happened. It's a little bit, it's not crude, I wouldn't say, but it's a little bit silly. But we had our toilet seat. The toilet seat was a little bit, one of the screws had come a bit loose basically, and the seat was jiggling around. And I said, oh, you might need to tighten that up a little bit. I'd done it before a few times, but I think I said to him, do you mind, when you get a chance? And then I forgot about it for a couple of days. And then one morning I said to him, oh, great, you tightened it up. So now the seat's not, the toilet seat is sturdy. It's not jiggling everywhere. And he said, I haven't done anything. I haven't touched it. So now we've got this joke about the toilet seat ghost who comes in the night and he tightens up the screws to the toilet so that when you wake up in the morning and you sit in it, you don't fall to the ground. And that's the running joke. So we've got the toilet seat ghost and we've got the light bulb ghost. So I'm keen to know what happens next. Well, I may not be that keen actually, because to be honest, for all my bravado, I'm actually a bit of a scaredy cat, and stuff like that can keep me awake. And I think those are the only 2 things that have struck out enough that we've kind of looked at each other with our mouths gaping open like, what the hell? Kind of like, what? Doesn't make any sense. And there was the one time I took a photograph of the living room, and there was something very strange on the television. It didn't look like a reflection of anything because there was nothing in the room. Well, no, there wasn't much because we just moved in. But when you looked at the TV and zoomed in, it looked like a woman in a dress, and it wasn't something that was actually showing on the screen like a movie or a TV program. The TV was switched off. You can tell because the red light was off. And I know, and we don't watch a lot of TV. And I know that when I took the photograph of the room, the TV was not on. So the only thing that you would see really is a reflection of maybe a sofa or a table or something. But there was no reflection. It was just a very hazy picture, very hazy outline of an old-fashioned type figure with a dress, like wearing a dress or something. I don't know. Very odd. And I was looking at it thinking, that's really weird. That is so strange because it just so looks like a person. But there's nobody here. So yeah, a little bit creepy. Try not to think about it too much. I suppose you just have to, some things that happen, you just have to kind of put them to one side and not let your mind, go into overdrive and start thinking about things too much. But yeah, we seem to have like ghosts that have a sense of humour, let's say. That's what we have in this place. Which is perfectly fine with me, as long as they don't have, ulterior motives or sinister intentions. I'm quite happy if they've got a sense of humour. They can make little jokes, fine. What I don't want is the menacing kind of ghosts, And then I wonder how many people have little experiences like that you just find a little bit strange. If you have any, please let me know in the comments. That would be funny to listen to, funny to read. There's somebody outside playing music very loudly in their car, which is quite a frequent thing. That can be annoying for everybody else. Gosh, did I change my thread? I think I did change my thread. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Right. So here is where things get a little bit. Doing it again, I'm marking off stitches that I haven't stitched, and that's dangerous. Going ahead of myself. But so far, so good, I think. I've managed to stay in my little zone without going out too much. So this colour will continue down here, and then inside here is just a complete riot from what I can see of colours. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do much talking when I go to this section. But I don't think I'll be doing that today. So the weather has gone dark. Oh, the summer just goes so quickly here. It's like there's no autumn. It just goes from summer straight into winter or something. It's cold. You want to put the heating on. I mean, still green leaves on the trees, and it just feels like, dead into the winter. I do like autumn. It's much prettier than the middle of winter. All those lovely brown colours. Okay. I don't want to get this wrong. So now we're going to move left to right, right to left for this bit. Probably the best way to count, rather than go down, up, down, up. I tend to get more confused going down and up than I do going left to right. Maybe because I'm more used to going left to right from doing the snaking thing. The snake method. Such a cool name, isn't it, for that method of going left to right, down, right to left, down, left to right, down. Wonder why we can't come up with more methods. I know there are more, but we need a whole pile of them to keep things interesting. That's what we need. Have I run out of things to say? Just sometimes you do, I think. Your mind just goes blank. Oh, what's happening here? Thread's getting a little stuck. So as I was saying about what I've been working on this month, I envisage that I'm going to be sticking to the same charts for a good while because I just want to see progress. And I'm even thinking about staying in the same rotation that I have until I actually finish something. Like maybe this one, I don't know. But I feel like I want to do that. It does mean that a lot of my other whips won't get touched for ages, but at least I'll get something close to a finish. I think this one at 60,000 stitches is probably the most doable because the others are a bit too big. They're not big, but they're just a little bit too big to like, get anywhere close. Even Riverwalk Charm, that's 56% now, I think, or 56.5. I mean, considering I've been doing that one for like 3 years, there's no way that's going to be anything finished soon. So I've decided I'm not going to make it a focus until I get closer to the 80%. When I get closer to 80%, then I think I will make it a focus again. But there's nothing. I mean, they're all at a good percentage. All my whips are at a good percentage, except for the newer ones I started. Oh, and I have decided to UFO a couple, unfortunately, and it does make me a little bit sad because I don't like doing it. But then I am keeping to my rule of if something's not making me happy, it has to go. And I don't do it lightly. I think about it long and hard. And the ones I'm talking about are, first of all, I've forgotten it now. The Artecy cottage that I was doing. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it. Cottage Walkway, I think it is. The Great Cottage Walkway. I really, really, really loved it so much, but I just wasn't enjoying stitching it at all. Not at all. I tried and I tried and I just could not because of the confetti in it. It's just crazy. And I like there to be a bit of a balance, between heavy confetti and some block areas. But that didn't seem to have anything that was block area. Even the sky was mad. And I just was like, oh, and I didn't want to bring it out, and I didn't want to bring it out, and I didn't want to bring it out. So I just thought, okay, I'm not bringing it out. That's it. I'm not bringing it out. I'm not going to stitch on it if it doesn't make me happy. Now, let me just see what I've done here. So I really wanted to, I think I've done an extra stitch here somehow. That's that one. And here, 1, 2, 3. Pardon me for counting for a second. Yeah. Done that row. Now I'm on this row. This is lethal, guys, counting these rows. That's 1, 2, 3, okay. And I really did want to bring it out. I didn't want to bring it out. I really did want to work on it, but I didn't want to bring it out, is what I wanted to say, because of the crazy confetti. It was just crazy. And I don't like changing my thread every 2 stitches for hours on end. It just drives me nuts. I didn't want to do it. So that one has to go. Because, you know what, there's just too many charts out there that I could be enjoying. And I'm not going to waste my time stitching something that I'm not enjoying. Because I stitch because I enjoy it. As I know all of you do. And sometimes I get a little bit defensive about it. Or I get a little bit irritated about when people have said that it is a waste of time, or they think it's a waste of time, and I get really annoyed. Nobody on the internet, I mentioned this a while back, that had been said to me, and I was mad. Because first of all, it's nobody's business what I do with my spare time. What I do with it is up to me. And it's no more a waste of time than doing a crossword or doing, I don't know, a knitted thing, or painting a picture. Doing a painting can be, well, that's a waste of time then, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just getting it off my chest. Because every so often it just riles me up. Why am I crossing off the stitches that I haven't done? What is going on? Now we've got the pattern keeper ghost that's crossing them off, because I don't think I am. I really don't. Do you think there could be such a thing as a pattern keeper ghost? Maybe in this house there is. Sabotaging my good intentions. So yeah, whenever I hear someone say, and I don't actually, this just came from one person, and I think it was just an ignorant comment, but anyway, I know that in reality we do things because we enjoy them, and that's it. And when it's a hobby, it's nobody else's business, quite frankly. And I'm not the type of person that likes to be told what to do. And if someone tries to tell me what to do, I will tell them to take their opinions somewhere else. I do not like being told what to do. I don't even like me telling myself what to do. There you go, folks. Don't tell me what to do. I don't mind suggestions, and I don't mind stuff like that. And even then, sometimes I do mind suggestions, because sometimes they come with caveats like, this is what I actually want you to do, disguised as a suggestion. Have you ever had that one? When someone says, well, if you don't mind me saying, and then they come out with the whatever, and you know that they're not saying it as just a friendly suggestion. It's what they think you should be doing, in which case you just totally ignore them. Yeah, I know that one. Okay, coming to the end of this thread now as well. I feel now like I've been rambling for ages and not said very much. So I do apologise for the very broad-natured stitch with me, which has no particular subject matter, but just kind of meanders everywhere. I'm having a meandering brain today, so please forgive me, folks. Trying my best. I'm going to just end this thread. Oh, that's looking nice and filled in, isn't it? I am liking it. And I think it's going to rain. Is that the name of a song? I think it's going to rain today. That's the name of the song. Okay. So, do let me know your thoughts, what you're stitching. And once again, I have to say, I love getting your comments. It really does encourage me to keep on doing videos and to keep on stitching even, because without your encouragement and just having you guys around, it gets a bit lonely in the stitching world. So it's nice to know that there are people there, nice people, that can listen to you and support you, and yeah, It's just one of those things. Modern technology kind of brings us together, but it also kind of separates us in a way, I think. But hey, we make the best of things, don't we? So I think I'm going to leave it there. I'll end this thread now. So have a lovely day, my friends. Have a lovely week overall, and I will come back again in a few days and do another stitch with me, and I hope you'll join me then. So take care, God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.